Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine. I'm Catherine, and it's time for the next video in my 101 Scrapbooking Ideas and Sketches Book Challenge. I am going to be working with the C's Please collection, and we will be working from the sketch on page 48. If you don't have the book, you can follow along in my description box to the original blog post, but I usually do make a few changes from the sketch. So I hold up the book if you would like a screenshot and follow along and see what I have done. Here is page 48. This one's a little simpler. I have 6 4x6 mats. I do have a couple of other scraps that I found in my scrap pile from this collection, and I will talk you through where I'm going to use those. I wanted to give you all another idea of something you could do, how you could put your photos onto pages, not necessarily using a full mat. And if you watch my Tuesday series, there is a How Catherine Scrapbooks edition that will show you a lot of ideas of how to add photos to pages without just matting the entire photo. For the base of my layout, I am using the diagonal lined paper that has the fish on the back. And as you can see, I have 2 sheets of this here, and I have some more fish at the top. I had more than one paper pack from this collection, and so I wanted to use up some of these extra scraps I had. So this is just going to give you an idea. You don't have to use my exact pages, but I do want to show you how you can use up some of these just different size scraps. I have 2 3x5 with the fish going one direction because the fish paper is a directional paper. And so the second one is going to go on the right side of my page. I'm working on the left side. And then I also had one where my fish were going the opposite direction. So I'm going to show you how to use both of these on the right side of the page. I also am using some of our blue cardstock. This is a 4x6 mat here. And I have 2 other 4x6 mats in the light blue water looking paper that has the cruise ships on the back. So this one's going to go up here, and this one is going to go up here, and this is going to go down and over just a little bit because we'll have options with this. And I'll talk you through that here in just a moment. Let me get these stuck down first so you can see the actual placement. That was kind of my rough placement, just so that way I knew where to stick these on the page. All right, this top one is going to go about 1/4 of an inch from the 2 edges of the page, along with this one is going to go a little bit further down and a little bit further in. I do have a little sticker that's going to go up in here. I have plenty of space for that. So this is about 1/2 inch in and 3/4 of an inch down. And then this one is also going to be at that 1/4 inch reference point as well. And as you can see, it doesn't have to be exactly 1/4 of an inch. You can be at 3/8 if you want, or really wherever it works for your pieces that you have. But it actually is following the sketch kind of closely. I'm going to show you. My photos will be a little bit smaller than the 4x6 because I used 4.5 by 6.5 mats, and I'm actually using the 4x6 mats. So my photos will be a little bit smaller, or I will just offset them from the mats, which is something I do quite frequently. I do have the one going vertically here, and then I have an option for a vertical photo here, but there's nothing saying that it won't be a horizontal photo either because our fish are deep enough that you could put, you're going to have to trim your 4x6 photo, but you could easily put it here. And if you want, you can pop it up and it might overlap what happens here as well. Or you can put it just through the center. And if you want a full 4x6, it's going to overlap the one up here. Just pop that up as well. And, you know, if you have just grass or something at the bottom of one of your photos, it's not that big of a deal if it overlaps a little bit. If you want the full size photo, I tend to trim little bits out of my photos. And so chances are I probably will do this vertical photo, but I might take like 1.5 inches off of it, and then it'll have some of the fish and some of the stripes behind it. It'll look more like that, but with the fish at the bottom. So I hope that helps to give you all an idea of where I would put photos on this page, or how I would put photos on this page. We're going to add this little circular anchor from the sticker pack at the top here. As you can see, I've also grabbed out my write-on stickers, because that's what we're going to use for journaling on this page. I needed to double check my placement of my stickers here. We're going to put this little lifesaver with the blue up here, and I'm making sure it does have a pop out on it. There we go. So you take the little center from the sticker so it looks more like an actual lifesaver where a person would go into it. It's one of those, I think I'm actually going to put it where maybe you can see the little blue stripe going through. There we go. That kind of matches the line of our turquoise going through there. Let's place our driftwood on the bottom here. So this is part of one of our border stickers that we have in our sticker pack, and it comes in pieces. So we're just going to go ahead and place 2 of these, kind of layered but offset a little bit at the bottom here. And then I'm going to pop up my Life is Good. Because yes, life is good. We have our ups and downs, but overall, not so shabby here. And let's pull these off. And then I have the skinnier write-on stickers here. Pull this part off because I've used all of those. That way I know where I'm starting at. Here's the next one. And this is going to go, I'm going to see if I can fit 2 in between here. Actually, I think I'm going to put 1 in between. And so it's kind of going to become more like a photo label, if you will, just telling briefly what's happening in these 2 photos here or on the page. Other times I've used the write-on stickers, I've clustered them, and I probably will have a little bit more of a cluster on the other side. Not a cluster per se, but just a segmented area. I wonder if 1 more will fit there. Nope, I think that we want to see a little bit of that stripe paper. So I'm going to leave this one kind of popped up from my holder, if you will, my sheet for the write-on stickers. And I'm going to show you the left side of my page. Like I said, I kind of loosely plan these pages so I have an idea of where I want to put things. And sometimes I change my mind as they're coming together on camera. So I appreciate y'all bearing with me for that. Now, the right side of our page is a little different than our left side, but we do have these 2. And this one's going to go right at that 1/4 inch mark again. And I'm trying to make sure I don't get my fish paper upside down again. So we have that 1/4 inch with both of these. I have 2 4x6 blue cardstock pieces here. And I think I want to place this a little bit lower. So this one is also the 3x5 like the one we had on the other side of the page. This one is 2x7. And so I have 1 more 4x6 from the cruise ship paper that we're going to layer in here. So that way it has a mat ready to go. Not something I do all the time, but I thought this one really needed a little something extra. And, kind of almost becomes like a double mat, if you will, like what you see in our sketch, where they kind of just, they have the designer paper and then they put a mat and then they have this other mat, but you could easily put a photo on here as well. And that would be a version of the double matting a photo. And so this is kind of almost a little bit like double matting, but not really, but you will see some of the fish and some of the blue. Okay, making sure my fish eyes are going the direction they need to be going. Directional paper, you have to pay a little bit more attention to when you're placing down. And now I can put tape on this one as well. Probably could have done that already, but that's okay. This one I'm going to give that about 3/4 of an inch down, 1/2 inch to again. It's okay if it doesn't line up perfectly with the one on the opposite side of the page. And then I'm going to place this one a little bit lower so we have more space for our write-on stickers here to journal on. And then put this one over here, and this is a little bit crooked. Let me fix this one first. Grab my multi-purpose tool and spatula this up a little bit. There we go. Just want to straighten it along this edge a little bit better. There we go. And now we can add this one, and so it won't make our photo look like it's not straight. And this is basically going to give us about 5/8 of an inch on the top and the bottom. Essentially I can see this whole fish here, and I'm going to add just a touch of repositionable tape because when I moved it, my paper got a little bit flappy, and I'm not a fan of the flappy page. No flappy cards, no flappy pages. Let me measure this for you all just to make sure I am. Yep, it's about, what is this, 3/8? Right under the 1/2 inch. Yep, 3/8 on the top there. And okay, so it's about 1/2 at the bottom. So it's not quite centered. And honestly, I'm okay with that because having it up just a little bit gives us more maneuverability for our photo below it. And you may not have to take as much off. So I have the other two driftwood pieces from our sticker pack here. And we're going to layer these along the bottom of this side under this photo here. In a similar fashion to how we did it on the other side. Just kind of offset and down a little bit is what I'm doing. We have another anchor sticker, but this one is an actual more anchor shape. Let me make sure and see if that little white bit doesn't come out of there too. That one's a bit delicate. No. Okay, so we don't have a punch out at the top for that little white circle, but we're going to go ahead and place that right around here. Oops. Thought I was going to place it right around there. Maybe not. There we go. Just hanging out. And now here comes our more area for journaling with the write-on stickers. You can take a piece of one of your index sheets if you would like to just do a straight up white box in here, but with the stripes on it, this paper is one of those where you could write directly on it, but I think it would be distracting having the stripes running through. So you either want a little bit of white cardstock, part of your index sheet, or Get some Write-On stickers. The price point is under $5 US, I believe, and they do come in handy. Let's see if I'm lining this up reasonably well here. I think so. And we'll probably place 4 of these going across about 1/4 of an inch apart. So yes, you still see the lines, but you will definitely be able to read the writing easier. One more. Well, we might actually wind up with 5. Let's see here. Nope, I think we're going to stick with 4. That looks good, and I'm going to go ahead and take off the part of the backing so that way it's easier for me to see where my next sticker starts. I kind of have a little ripped edge here, so I know my next line is here. It's kind of hard with it's a white sticker on a light background. So just trying to figure out a way to make it easy for myself for the next time. Put that away, and this is it for the right side of our page. You can see my Write-On stickers there, and this is how I layered the driftwood. Let me show you both the pages together, and then we'll move on to our card. Here we go. So we have our 2 pages together using the C's Please collection with some traditional mats and some non-traditional mats, if you will. And this was our sketch again. So let me know how you think I did. I mean, on here they did have a little bit of our grid paper is what they used for their journaling, but the Write-On stickers weren't out at the time. This collection they featured, so here you go, a new option that you can use on your pages, or newer option. For our card, I have pulled one of our cards from our blank card kit. Always make sure it opens the direction that the person who receives the card would open it. I had mine backwards, so it's a good thing that I double checked mine. And then I have one more of the light blue designer paper that has the cruise ships on the back that I had cut for a 4x6 mat, but I went ahead and cut off that extra 1/2 inch to turn it into a 4-inch by 5.5 inch piece for the base of our card. Using up what I have from this collection a bit. So I'm going to place it reasonably centered on the card, but honestly, it doesn't really matter as much with this one because we're going to do a little frame for it with these strips. So these are 3/4 of an inch, and honestly, I don't even know if they're going to make 4 by 4 1/4. And then these are 3/4 of an inch by over 5.5. It was something, again, that I had in my scrap bag, and I believe these were 1.5 inch strips, probably from cutting one of our 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 mats from one piece of cardstock. And then I just cut it in half, and we're going to use that to add a little frame to our card. I am going to take my card and flip it over. I got a little bit of blue showing down here, and we know my other strips are going to be a little bit too long, so I might have been just a hair bit crooked when I cut my blue paper somehow. Here's the top, and going across here, and then we're going to get our other 2 going down the side. And as you saw, these are just a little bit longer than what we're going to need, so we're just going to grab our scissors and trim them up. One of the best things about paper crafting is a pair of scissors can usually fix any problems. Let's see, one of these is going to go along my edge that's going to be opened, by our card recipient. So let me reinforce that edge a little bit as well. There we go, just running right along the seam of the card front. And this one is going to go along the opposite seam here. This is just a great way to use up some strips, some scraps, and strips and things you find in your scrap bag. I'm flipping over my card now. I'm going to go ahead and just trim really closely to the edge of my card front here. And I'm pulling just that little bit of blue excess I had as well as I am trimming my strips using my microtip scissors so my scissors don't get goopy as well. And let's get this other side here. That one, I didn't have as much overlap with my blue, just a slim margin here. You can see a little bit of cruise ship there. Okay, and here trim that. Put that down. I feel like I've got just a little bit of, yep, I do have a little bit more showing up front, so let's go ahead and get that trimmed off too. Like I said, it was just such a small amount, it's hard to get it here. And we have to go on the front side. Yep, here we go. Got it. And now I have just a little bit over the edge on my ends here. So let's take that off as well. Got these really fine paper strips coming off. But we now have a nice seamless card front. Let me just rub my finger here and everything comes off. Ready for the next time I need to cut through some repositionable tape. And now I have quite a few stickers that we're going to use on our little framed out water scene here. We have otters. I have Cruising Together. I have Bon Voyage. I have a couple of waves, and I have our other yellow lightsaber that are Saber. It's not Star Wars. Kind of wish sometimes it was Star Wars. I do like Star Wars, but not for this one. We're doing C's Please, so we have a lightsaber. Okay, so our waves are going down first. Let's make sure our otters will fit. Yep, so we definitely want these right at the top of our water part here. The second one just offset from the first, following along with the arc. And it's okay if it goes over our plaid a little bit because our Bon Voyage is going to go over, but we're going to have our lightsaber peeping out from behind it. So I want to put this on foam squares. Oops. And we're going to do several of our small foam squares. Oops. Okay, Bon Voyage going a little bit more over the lower wave here. Our yellow lightsaber popping through that little circle here, leaving it on the paper this time, not getting stuck to my finger. It's going to kind of accentuate our wave and our movement from the V up and over. And like I said, I don't mind. It's going over the plaid. We're Cruising Together. is going to layer under a little bit here and over our lower wave a bit. And I'll show you this closer in just a moment. And then we also have our little cutie pie otters that I thought was perfect. This one's going to get popped up as well. One of our larger and one of our smaller foam squares should do it for this one. And these are going to be over the cruising together just a little bit. So there's a little bump out here that I'm putting in between the letters for the cruising and together. And there you have it. So you can see where our stickers are kind of all layered in there. And I just thought this would be a cute one. I mean, this can be an all occasion, or maybe you know somebody that's on a cruise or is going to take a cruise or is a travel agent, and it just would be a cute card to send us anybody. Kind of an all-purpose card again. But that is it for our C's Please from page 48 in our books. Leave me a thumbs up if you like it, and I am happy to answer any comments or questions you have. Until next time.